You know the feeling. Payday hits, money lands in your account. For about 48 hours, everything feels fine. The number looks good, you feel okay, maybe even a little relieved. Then the rent goes out, the bills follow, the groceries, the subscriptions you forgot about, the transfer you had to make last month that you're still recovering from. And by day 10, sometimes day 7, you're already watching the number get smaller. Doing the mental math, counting days until the next payday. Telling yourself you'll figure it out. This is not a story about irresponsible people. This is not a story about people who don't care about money or don't try. Because here is the number that changes the whole conversation. 62% of Americans say they are living paycheck to paycheck in 2025, more than half the country. And among people earning over $100,000 a year, people with what most would call a good income, 44% say they have little or nothing left after monthly expenses. This is not a math problem. If it were purely math, higher earners would be immune. They are not. This is a systems problem, a habits problem, a design problem. And in this video, we are going to break it down. Exactly why the paycheck disappears and exactly what to do about it. Let's start with something most people never examine. The way your money moves right now is not a system you designed. It's a pattern that formed by default. Money comes in, things pull at it from every direction. Whatever survives makes it to the end of the month. Usually nothing does. That is not a budget. That is not a plan. That is just money flowing downhill, finding every hole available until it's gone. And here's the thing about a system you didn't design. It won't work for you. It will work against you. Because the default direction of money, without a system, is outward. Always outward. Think about the first few days after payday. You pay the big fixed things, rent, maybe a loan, maybe insurance. Those feel accounted for. But then the month opens up, and because the money is there, the spending begins. Not dramatically, quietly. A meal out because you just got paid and it felt fine. A purchase you've been putting off. A delivery because cooking felt like too much that evening. Small things. Completely reasonable things. Each one individually justifiable. But by mid-month, you've already spent money that was supposed to last 3 more weeks. And now you're in survival mode. Waiting, watching, rationing, until the next payday resets the cycle. This is the paycheck to paycheck loop. And the reason most people can't break out of it isn't because they lack discipline. It's because they're trying to fight a current with willpower alone. Willpower-based money management doesn't work. Not because people are weak, but because willpower depletes. Especially under financial stress. Especially when you're tired, busy, and making hundreds of small decisions every day. The fix is not trying harder. The fix is designing a better system. One that doesn't require you to make the right decision every single time. One that makes the right thing happen automatically, so your willpower can go toward everything else. That's what the rest of this video is about. But first, we need to understand exactly where the money actually goes. Because most people think they know, and most people are wrong. When people think about where their money goes, they think about the obvious things. Rent, food, transport, the big categories. And yes, those matter. But the paycheck disappears because of leaks. Small, consistent, mostly invisible outflows that nobody tracks because individually they feel harmless. There are 4 of them, and almost everyone has all 4. Leak 1. Subscription creep. The average person thinks they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions. Studies consistently show the real number is closer to $200. That gap and $120 a month is a whole $440 a year. Quietly leaving your account for services you either forgot you had or barely use. Streaming platforms, apps upgraded to premium, cloud storage, music, a fitness app, a news site, a tool you used once, the free trial that converted. Each one is small. All of them together are a significant leak. Leak 2, convenience spending. This one is the most underestimated. Every time you pay extra to save time or effort, the delivery fee, the Uber instead of transit, the pre-made meal instead of cooking, the express option, the vending machine, that's convenience spending. None of it feels like a financial decision in the moment. It feels like a time decision, a comfort decision. But the money leaves either way, and it leaves constantly because modern life is engineered to make convenience frictionless and invisible. Leak 3. Micro treats. The coffee, the snack, the small unnecessary item added to an online order, the impulse buy at the checkout. No single micro treat breaks a budget, but they happen multiple times a day, every day, and they are almost never tracked. One coffee a day at $5 is $150 a month, $1,800 a year. That's not a lecture about coffee, it's arithmetic. And when micro treats multiply across a household, the number becomes real. Leak 4. Reactive spending. This is spending that happens because of an emotion, not a plan. You had a hard day, you treated yourself, you were bored and opened a shopping app, you got paid and felt briefly wealthy, you were stressed and food delivery felt like self-care. Reactive spending is the hardest leak to see because it feels justified. It often is justified in terms of how you feel. But the bank account does not care about feelings. It only sees the transaction. These 4 leaks running simultaneously every single month are where the paycheck goes. Not one big decision. 4 quiet ones draining steadily. Now let's talk about what to do. Most people's response to the leaks we just described is, I need to make a budget. And they're right. But here's why most budgets fail within 2 weeks. They're built on restriction, on willpower, on telling yourself no over and over in real time while life is happening around you. You sit down on a Sunday, you plan everything perfectly, every category, every limit, every good intention in place. Then Tuesday happens. Then the unexpected expense, then the friend's birthday, then the bad day. And the budget that looked perfect on Sunday survives until about Thursday. This is not a character flaw. This is how budgets built on restriction work. They don't. Not for most people, not consistently, not long term. The budget approach that actually works looks different. Instead of tracking everything you spend and trying to stay under limits, it starts from the other end. Here's the core principle. When your paycheck arrives, the very first thing that happens, before any spending, before any bills, before anything, is that a fixed amount moves automatically to savings, not whatever is left. A fixed amount first. Then you pay your fixed essential bills, rent, utilities, loan payments, things that don't change month to month. What remains after those 2 steps is your actual spending money for the month. Everything else, food, transport, entertainment, everything, comes out of that number, not a projected number, the real remaining number. This structure, save first, bill second, live on the rest, changes the entire dynamic. Because the saving happens before your brain even registers the money as available. You can't spend what isn't there. And the living number, the amount left for discretionary spending, becomes your real budget. Clear, fixed, visible. Instead of guessing and hoping, you know exactly what you have. This is not complicated, but it is a complete reversal of how most people currently manage money. And that reversal is where the cycle breaks. Here is a simple rule that cuts reactive spending faster than almost anything else. Before any non-essential purchase over a set amount, pick your own number, maybe $30, maybe $50, you wait 24 hours. That's it. You don't say no, you say not yet. You write it down, you wait one day, and then you decide. Here's what happens. A significant portion of those purchases never happen. Not because you talked yourself out of them through discipline, but because the impulse simply passed. The emotion that created the want dissolved. You forgot about it entirely in some cases. This works because almost all reactive spending is time-sensitive in feeling, but not in reality. In the moment, it feels urgent. The item feels necessary. The want feels like a need. Give it 24 hours and that urgency is usually gone. The items that survive 24 hours, the ones you still want a day later, those are worth buying. Those are genuine wants, not impulses. And you buy them without guilt because the decision was made deliberately, not reactively. This one rule, applied consistently, does more for discretionary spending than any detailed category budget. Because it doesn't restrict, it creates space. And in that space, most of the leaks seal themselves. 52% of Americans say they worry about money every single day. The 24-hour rule doesn't eliminate all financial stress, but it removes the specific stress that comes from spending money impulsively and regretting it immediately after. That particular flavor of financial regret, the one where you know the moment after buying something that it was a mistake, disappears almost entirely. One day, that's the buffer between impulse and regret. We have talked about saving first. We have talked about the 24-hour rule. Now let's talk about the mechanism that makes all of it actually stick. Automation. Every financial habit that depends on you remembering to do it, choosing to do it, or feeling motivated to do it will eventually fail. Not because you're unreliable, because life is unpredictable. Because there will be months where everything hits at once and the right financial decision gets pushed aside by survival. Automation removes the decision entirely. The money moves before you see it. The saving happens before you have the chance to spend it. The bill gets paid before you forget. The habit runs whether you're motivated or exhausted, organized or overwhelmed. The specific automations that matter most are three. First, automatic savings transfer. Set up a recurring transfer from your checking account to a separate savings account, timed for the same day as your paycheck or the day after. Even a small amount. The amount matters less than the habits. Second, automatic bill payments for every fixed expense. Rent, utilities, subscriptions you actually use and have decided to keep. Remove the decision and the risk of forgetting. Third, separate accounts for spending categories. Having one account where everything mixes makes it impossible to see what you actually have available. A separate account for bills, a separate one for savings, and a third for daily spending means you always know exactly where you stand with a single glance. None of this requires a financial app, a spreadsheet, or a complex system. Most banks let you set up automatic transfers in under 5 minutes. The setup is a one-time cost. The benefit runs forever. The U.S. personal savings rate in early 2026 is 4.5%, less than half the historical average. Most people are not saving because the system they're using doesn't make saving automatic. Change the system. Change the outcome. There is one more reason the paycheck disappears that we haven't talked about yet. Emergencies, not once-a-decade disasters. The ordinary, predictable unpredictability of life. The car repair, the medical bill, the broken appliance. The month where 3 things go wrong at once. These events feel like surprises when they happen. But statistically, they are not surprises. They happen to everyone regularly throughout a lifetime. The only thing surprising about them is the timing. 59% of Americans in 2025 could not cover a $1,000 emergency from savings. Not because $1,000 is an impossible amount to save over time, but because the emergency fund never got built. And every time a financial emergency hit, it got charged to a credit card, added to existing debt, and made the next month harder. This is the hidden engine of the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Not just the leaks, not just the subscriptions, but the emergency debt that accumulates over years of being one unexpected expense away from crisis. The fix is specific. Build 1 month of essential expenses in a separate account. Not your main savings, not an investment account. A simple, accessible buffer. Just 1 month. That number is your emergency fund starting point. Once that exists, an unexpected $700 expense is a temporary drawdown, not a catastrophe. You refill the buffer over the following weeks. Life continues. The credit card stays at 0. 1 month of expenses, untouchable except for genuine emergencies. That single buffer transforms your relationship with financial surprises from panic to inconvenience. It won't happen overnight. But if even $50 a month goes into that account automatically, starting today, you are building it. Slowly, steadily, and for real. Let me leave you with the honest version of this. The paycheck disappears because it was never given a job before it arrived. It landed, things pulled at it, and it was gone before the plan existed. The fix is not discipline. It is not cutting everything you enjoy. It is not a complicated spreadsheet updated daily. It is a simple sequence. Save automatically first, pay fixed bills second, live on the real remainder. Wait 24 hours on impulse purchases. Build the buffer so emergencies stop breaking the cycle. That sequence, repeated month after month, breaks the loop. Not immediately, but consistently. And the distance between payday and zero starts to grow. Slowly at first, then faster than you expect. 64% of Americans say they worry more about running out of money than they worry about dying. That fear is real, but it is not permanent. The cycle breaks the moment you stop managing money by default and start managing it by design. That starts with the next paycheck. See you in the next one.